Often I have been asked by the existing mutual fund distributors or new mutual fund distributors who are aspiring to join this industry is how we are going to deal with competition. First, they need to compete with the existing mutual fund distributors, but more often now, people are facing competition from the direct investments which the investors are doing into mutual funds. And my reply to them is this. I ask them what is their TINA factor. What is TINA? TINA is there is no alternative. How they are going to put their value proposition so that client can realize that they need to pay you month after month, year after year. Why the client should be taking your services. And for that, most of the distributors are blank. And in this video, I'm going to touch upon what are the value propositions which we need to make so that we can convince our client that we are going to provide the essentials which are going to be needed by the investors to have a successful investment journey. Hello everyone, I'm Shobhit. I'm a FinBiz growth expert and founder of FinBiz Growth Club. We are an aspiring community of new age mutual fund distributors who are determined to change how India invests. So first let's talk about what you need to tell so that your client is convinced that he need to invest through you only. So the first thing which you need to convince your client is you have the essential requirement or skill sets because of which he need to take your services. So start with your working experience. You might be in this industry or in the financial sector for a long period of time. That can be a one selling proposition. Or you can share the success stories of your customer, how you handhold your customer, how you guided your customer in having a better investment journey because of which they were able to meet their financial goals. You can also highlight the certifications which you might have done in the various aspects of personal finance. So that is also going to add value why client should be dealing with you. Or you yourself would have been a good investor because of which you got a good experience of investment, and that experience you can carry forward to your customer. So you need to tell why your client has to deal with you. And if you are having a good story to tell, if you have a good experience to share, the client is going to lend his ears to you. So please remember, first your pitching point should be very, very high. Client is not only looking for the solution which you are providing, but the solution which is giving results that client is more interested on. So start building your story. Why you are into this business, what kind of success you are able to provide to your customer, what your customers are saying about you, what was your investment journey, how you are able to handle your client in various aspects of investments, and that is going to convince your client that he needs to deal with you. And once you are clear on this, the second part of the story which I want you guys to work upon is to work upon why your client should be not doing direct investments and he need to be dealing with you. So the first thing which I want you guys to clarify your client is, since you are independent of their family matters, you will be able to give independent evaluation to the investments which they may have. Now, most of the time what happens? We as an human beings, we are going to take decisions on emotional parameters. And then we are going to satisfy those decisions by all the arguments which we will have. This means what? This means we will never be able to judge any decisions purely based upon merit. And if that is the case, their investment journey will not be that fruitful. But since you are a professional, you are looking from the outside perspective, you will be able to evaluate their investment decisions on a more impartial basis. So you need to communicate this to your client. You will also be able to give an objective guidance for any investment which they are going to plan or they should be planning. Now, most of the time, investors are planning their investment decisions based upon some emotional triggers, or somebody has come or somebody has given an input and they are investing their and they have started their investment journey. Most of the time these investment journeys are not structured. It means it is not goal based. And you need to tell your client that if they have a proper structure to their investment journey, it is going to yield them better investment results. And we as a mutual fund distributors, we are going to create a clear-cut roadmap through which they will be able to glide that path and get the desired results. So please make them understand. Other important thing which you need to tell your client is you are also going to help him in reviewing the portfolio on a periodic basis. This means what? You are going to see whether the investment decisions which you have made or which you have helped your client to make, it has been performing as per expectation. And if it is not performing as per expectation, what the course correction should be. Please understand, investments is a dynamic journey where every event will have some repercussion. Corona was one trigger. There are a lot of triggers which every now and then is going to impact the portfolio. And if you are able to take right decision at right point of time, then it is going to help your client in having better outcome from their investment journey. You need to also tell them that it is not only the external environments which is going to impact their portfolio. It is their own family events that is also going to be triggering any restructuring of their financial portfolio or investment portfolio. So it may be addition of any new member or deletion of a new member or upgrading of the salaries or some unexpected cash flow coming in or some unexpected expenses in our financial life. And if all this has to be looked upon and if all this has to be taken with the professional guidance, there your role is going to come into play. So you need to tell them that these are the reasons why they need to be taking a professional service. There are multiple of things which is also going to be impacting besides the investment decisions which they are taking. There can also be that the investments or schemes in which the investment has been made after some point of time because of the change of the fund manager or the fund house objectives, those funds would have not been performing that well. So over a period of time, you are the guy who is going to handhold your client, guide them your client so that they can get the desired result by switching from one scheme to another. Other important aspect which I want you guys to discuss with your client that why they need you for their investment journey is that you are going to take care of all the services part which is going to be required by your client either from the financial transaction point of view or non-financial transaction point of view. So transaction point of view, when I say, as I told you, it may be because of the economy situation changing in the country or the scheme performance not coming up to the marks or some financial situation changing in the family. All those things require financial decisions to be made. You are going to give them an objective perspective so that we can take a rational decisions. Now there will be a lot of non-financial transactions which will keep on happening. Your client is going to go from or shifting from one place to another, so the address needs to be changed. Your client wants to change the phone number, email ID, he wants to know the statement, they want some documents for their tax filing. All those things can be taken care by you or your team. So you need to guide them, you need to tell them upfront what are the services which you are going to provide for which you are not going to be charging them upfront, but it is going to give them a lot of peace of mind. It is going to give them lot of flexibility, lot of convenience, because of which they need to be taking a guided route to their investment and not independent investment route. The value addition which you are going to provide, that you need to be very upfront on. Now, most of the investors will say that if I keep investing for 30 years or 40 years, I am going to have so much alpha against the guided regular investments. The question which we need to ask to our customer, my dear friends, is this: are your customers are sure that they will be able to invest, or they will be able to continue in that investment journey for 30, 40, 25 years on their own? You know, the average holding period in mutual funds in equity schemes is less than 2.5 years. It means investors are putting in money, taking out in a very high frequency. And we all know that investments outcome are only going to be there if we have a disciplined approach to investments. And we as a mutual fund distributors are going to help them in making that disciplined investment journey so that they can get the desired outcome. We need to make them understand it is not the investment which is going to give them the desired result, but a continuous investment journey that is going to give them the desired results from the investments. So if your customer has even 1% doubt that they will not be able to be disciplined over that investment journey, then they need to take a service of you so that they can get a desired outcome. You need to make them understand that the savings which they are talking about going directly and doing investment can only happen if they continue that investment journey for the desired period of time. So these are things, if we are going to communicate to our client, I have no doubt that we are going to have a very fruitful journey, and we will be able to communicate the value proposition to our client, and our client will be able to show trust in us. Now, talking about how we are going to deal with the other distributors who are there in the market, how we are going to compete with them. And if we want to compete with them, I want you guys to communicate the value proposition which you are going to provide, which other mutual fund distributors are not providing. So it may be the infrastructure or the ecosystem which you are going to provide in terms of investment experience or service experience. I have created a detailed video and how after sales service should be structured so that your client is so comfortable with you that he's never going to leave you or he's going to come under your net. I'm going to leave the link here so that you can go through after sales service ecosystem which you need to create so that you can have a proper guidance for your client and your client can appreciate the service which you are going to provide. You need to be very clear what is the frequency of service which you are going to provide, what all things you are going to cover, what are things you are going to be providing over and above the preview of the investment for which your client should be appreciating. You need to tell how you are different from the other mutual fund distributors which are there in the market purely based upon the quality of service or the quantity of service which you are going to provide to your client. And these all things are going to have a huge impact when you are going to be discussing or competing in the market. At last, the only thing which I want you guys to understand is you need to upgrade yourself as a mutual fund distributor. If you are not able to sell yourself the schemes which you are going to promote, that is not going to be sold in an effective manner. And if you want a guided approach to your mutual fund distribution journey, or if you want to be a new age mutual fund distributor, then I would love you guys to join my 90 minutes free masterclass. In this masterclass, I'm going to tell you how you can become a mutual fund distributor following a modern approach in 21 days or less. I'm going to leave the link for the masterclass in the description. I would love you guys to join my masterclass so that we can show you a new way to approach your mutual fund distribution business. In case you like the content, I would love you guys to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel so that we can reach you with the new content and you will be first to get notified. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to see you next time.